Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Disability Channel Today Detroit. I am Zach Damon. I am here with Heather Eckner of the Autism Allliance of Michigan. She is doing wonderful things for the disability community in Detroit and the surrounding areas, and she just does a wonderful job. And of course, Heather, you've touched on a lot of your background and, of course, why the mission of your organization is important. But more importantly, the Autism Alliance of Michigan has many different resources, so many that it's difficult to name them all. But I was curious if you could just talk about some that are important to you and what kind of resources those may be.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, there are a lot. So it's probably best to do this in the context of the pillars of our organization. And so at the core of the Autism Alliance is navigation. So we have a navigator program. It's a statewide resource for individuals, family members, educators, providers, really anyone who is trying to find answers to questions, connect to resources, and understand which can be very challenging, systems and access, as I had kind of talked about. And so everyone who contacts the Autism Alliance of Michigan is assigned a navigator who is a knowledgeable professional. And this is a free service and is for life. So there's not a point that you can't keep coming back to us and asking more questions.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's really fundamental to the work that we do. Our second pillar, no big surprise, is going to be my favorite because it's education. And so while the Autism Alliance has always provided ongoing outreach and education in terms of information sharing, training, support, as I mentioned, within the past couple of years, and as I have joined with the organization, there's been this focus at a much deeper level into the education space across our state.
Hmm.
And really, the Autism Alliance is at the lead in driving initiatives that address the root causes of systemic barriers to access, opportunity, and those outcomes that we're looking for in education for students with disabilities. So we're doing this work through coalition building, policy work, and really with a clear intent on systems change. Because we know that, as much as it's fulfilling to work with individuals and families and helping them, we ultimately need to change those broader systems and structures which create the challenges that the families keep experiencing. And so then education directly flows into our third pillar, which is employment. And so actually, within education, I mentioned that special education for students with disabilities is governed by a federal law, which is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And the purpose of IDEA, as it's often referred to, is to prepare students with disabilities through this specialized education and supports for further education, employment, and independent living. So when I say education naturally flows into employment, it really does, right? It's really what we're leading towards. And so the Alliance is very committed to maximizing employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities across industries through really innovative work and partnerships. And so the organization set a moonshot goal of 101,000 job placements in the next 10 years. So we're deeply engaged in this effort.
Yeah.
Aspects of the employment pillar fall under a group connected to the Autism Alliance, which is called Upbound. And they really are the key to connecting workers and employers. And so they're at that cutting edge of that. So it's really it's an ambitious goal, but we like ambitious goals at the Autism Alliance of Michigan because it really keeps us driving for those really big changes that we're looking for.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. And, you touch on a really great point of employment opportunities for those with disabilities. We here at the Disability Channel believe the same thing. We have amazing employment opportunities for people with disabilities in media. And so we couldn't agree more with your mission of getting people with disabilities the education, training, and employment that they need to be great contributing members of society, because that is paramount important.
It absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I wanted to touch on this too, because you talked about your moonshot goal, but I want to talk a little bit more about your awesome event. Your organization hosts the Michigan Shines for Autism Gala. So can you share a bit about that event and how it's going to help you kind of get towards that moonshot goal you were speaking of?
Oh, sure. So the Michigan Shines for Autism Gala is our largest annual event, and it's taking place this year in September, Saturday, September 11th, and it will be held in person. There will be an option for in-person attendees at the Motor City Casino in downtown Detroit, and then there will also be an option for virtual attendees. You know, in our current world, as we're like sort of returning to whatever we called normal before.
Sure.
So there are both options. And it was actually during last year's gala that the Alliance announced their moonshot goal of the 101,000 jobs in the next 10 years. And so this year's gala theme really builds upon that. And as I mentioned before, with all of the different work that we're engaged in, the ways that we're trying to open up opportunities for individuals with disabilities, including autism, and the resources that we provide, like navigation, free for life, everything we do is free to individuals and families that we serve. So it really is through events like this, which makes our work possible. So these are the fun ways that you can kind of the win-win of supporting the Autism Alliance of Michigan while really contributing to and being part of the work that we're accomplishing and being part of that mission that we talked about.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to take one more quick break. And when we come back, we're going to continue with Heather Eckner of the Autism Alliance of Michigan.